The following podcast is brought to you by the Geeks 2 Network, and all opinions are those of the hosts. Listener discretion is advised. It's time to talk wrestling. This is the Dave Dynasty Show.
And welcome to the Dave Dynasty Show, Round 4, Episode 4. 4 Horsemen. Woo!
4 Horsemen. I mean,
that is the voice of my producer slash cohort slash co-host slash huge pain in my ass, Ike Isaacs.
That's me. What's up, guys?
I don't know. We had a kind of a fun week in wrestling. Some things we're going to pull from the headlines. Some cool stuff this week.
Definitely. Definitely.
We're not one of the headlines we're going to discuss, but hey, let's. We wouldn't be a Dave Dynasty show if we didn't at least discuss TNA just a hair.
Yeah, right.
Because that is like the biggest cluster soap opera going on in the world. It is amazing. I don't know what all's going on. Billy Corgan has filed lawsuits. There's injunctions. There is restraining orders not allowing TNA to sell anything until things are investigated. There's tax liens against them. It is a mess and a half. I don't even know what's going to happen.
Yes, I heard about all that. It's like
the rumor is that TNA, the best estimate is that they're in debt $5 million to investors, to taxes, to whatever. I'm not sure if anybody's going to buy the company knowing there's that kind of debt. Perhaps.
I wouldn't buy it.
The tape library would be great.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but see, Billy Corgan apparently was granted a restraining order that they can't sell a tape library, and I think he has actually even requested the courts make public what the offer was to buy it.
Really?
Which is interesting.
I wonder why, though.
Probably because I think he feels, as already a partial owner, that maybe he should have had first option, or at least the fair chance to match offers or whatever it may be. I don't know.
I got you.
But he's claiming, I can't remember the term, but he's claiming in the courts that TNA owes more than they're worth. I mean, if they owe $5 million, I could see that. Their tape library is great, but I don't know how you put a value on that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess a comparable could be the WCW library when WWE bought them, but they only paid like $2 or $3 million for that. I think they really got rock bottom because it's almost the same scenario. But anyway, it's a mess. It's ridiculous.
It's a hot mess right now.
Right. So I don't know. I'm actually thinking that I may want to record a special bonus podcast here soon, and all I'm going to do is just give a free flow of my thoughts on the wrestling business and what needs to happen. Not that it matters, not that anybody cares, but there's just so much shit in my head, I just want to get it out.
Yeah, just for shits and kicks.
Whatever. We'll just see. Maybe I will. But anyway, so that's our weekly dose of TNA.
Our weekly dose of cluster hell.
Hopefully something good comes of it, whatever it might be. Who knows? Something positive.
Them being out of the media would probably be the best thing right now.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, maybe we'll discuss that in a bonus podcast soon. So
there you go.
All right, anyway. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening. And if you are listening, please go out and support us. Subscribe to us. Review. Rate us on iTunes. That helps us out, gets us up the charts. Follow us on SoundCloud. And subscribe to us on YouTube. We're easy to find. Share us. Get us some more listeners, because the more people we got, the bigger platform we get, the more crap we get to spew.
Yeah, I don't know, though. I don't know if they want to support you. Like, I really don't.
You're right. As long as I'm dragging around a leech like you, they may not want to.
Look. There's a reason you brought me on this show. And it's
because I need a peon that can go over there and work the dials and record. I could get a trained monkey to do what you do.
Well,
I've seen Planet of the Apes.
Harambe is already dead, so you can't find anybody else.
Have you seen the latest thing on Harambe that supposedly they have Harambe's male stuff, and that perhaps they could artificially...
I heard about
like
that.
There's some lineage here that we have to keep on. Wow.
It's the internet, dude.
We're not that kind of podcast, though. We will not talk that. Sorry.
The internet's something else, man.
Unless there is a species of animal that is wrestling in a ring, we want to do that, and I don't think they've done that since the 70s and 80s.
It's like kangaroos.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
kangaroos.
The Hardys do, yeah. Which is cool because, speaking of TNA and speaking of the Hardys, they do have an episode. I'm not sure when it's coming up. I think it's December. I think it's like kind of year in. It's going to be called Total Nonstop Deletion. Entire episode is going to be filmed at the Hardy compound. And there's going to be all kinds of weird stuff. We know it's pretty much the Hardys get to run the whole show.
Yeah.
And apparently they're having some kind of, I can't remember what they called it, some kind of big tag team. I don't know if it's a tournament, extravaganza, whatever else. And they have put all these offers out there that tag teams from all over the world. And they specifically called out the Bucks of Young and the Day of New. That's how Matt puts it.
The Day of New.
Yeah. And it will be cool to see if anybody, obviously the New Day's not going to show up. That ain't going to, unless WWE bottom out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which I didn't look like it's going to happen, but who knows? But, like the Young Bucks can't appear because they have an exclusive contract with Ring of Honor. But Ring of Honor says, hey, why not? But I don't know. Who knows what'll happen? Could be cool though to see who all is there.
Yeah. You
never know. I'm just excited to be a whole episode. That'll be great.
Just the Hardy brothers and Broken Matt Hardy. Just
on the one, I don't know if it was. I can't remember which one it was. If it was the Final Deletion or the Delete or Decay, where they showed Matt's personal zoo, and he was talking about the monkeys, and he called them spot monkeys, and he said, "There's Matt, and Nick of the Bucks of Young." Talking about the Young Bucks. It's funny, good. Oh, it was great stuff.
The Young Bucks, the Bucks of Young,
so good.
Spot monkeys.
But the Young Bucks and Hardys have had matches on the independents. It's good stuff. It would be really great now.
Well, it would just depend because I was thinking about it, but like Ring of Honor really isn't like stingy and stuff with like where they send their people.
It just depends because the guys that have exclusive contracts typically can only work for them, New Japan, CMLL, or Pro Wrestling Guerrilla.
Yeah,
and that's because they have agreements with CMLL and New Japan. There's all this talent share, and Pro Wrestling Guerrilla because they realize there's no harm. It's a good partnership.
Yeah.
That's why you only see, you don't see guys like Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, all of them doing a lot of independent little shows. They just can't. But I mean, I guess as a company they could allow that's their discretion. But I don't know if they do. Do they have anything to gain? Do they have anything to gain by their tag champs being on a show that's got all this mess of a company? Who knows? I don't know. I don't think it'll happen.
Probably not.
It's all business, and
definitely not the New Day though.
And TNA's business. No, that ain't gonna happen.
No way.
But, okay, so yeah, what else we got? Hey, while you're out there in the world of the internet, what was it? What's Mance Warner calling it? The intronet,
intraweb or something.
Intrawebs, whatever. Check out LuchaMaskUSA.com, sponsor of the Dave Dynasty Show, and the one site for my entire Christmas list. You could just go on there. I don't care what it is. Just order it. If it's a Lucha mask, Lucha shirt, they've got everything on there. It's great stuff. But great sponsors. And we are working on a deal that they're going to send us some stuff that we're going to be able to give out through the show, through the sites, and whatever else. Some cool Lucha stuff.
I might keep it for myself.
You will not be in possession of any of it.
How do you know that?
You little thief.
It's not a thief. Hey, the Guerrero said it best. We lie, we cheat, we steal.
Good old Eddie.
Good old Eddie.
My favorite of all time. One of my favorites of all time.
I know. One of the best. All right.
Something's talking to me.
Yeah, so something's talking to us now.
Anyway, they're going to send us some cool stuff that we're going to do some different things to give that out. We'll have some contests. We'll have some things. It's cool stuff. They actually have bicycle playing cards with luchador masks on them.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, not like I don't think specific luchadors per se, but but it's still awesome.
Yeah, just masks.
But I think they're sending us some keychains and stickers, and I think they've got some copies of the great Lucha magazine / zine. I don't know how to describe it. Rito Can't Fail. Great. No sponsorship, no plug here. Just go check them out.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. But anyway, it's some cool stuff. So stay tuned for that in the coming weeks. We'll have some cool stuff to give away. The whole world knows I love lucha. I love it.
Yes.
Love it.
Hopefully, I'll be able to get my hands on some of it.
Last week we spoke with Trip Cassidy, who also loves lucha. Could have spent hours just talking lucha with him, but you know, there are some good lucha podcasts out there, so I don't need to go too in depth. But we do have, I believe, a headline from the lucha world. Why don't we just jump right into it, Isaac? Let's go with our wrestling headlines for the week that we're going to discuss. What do we got?
All right, so the first one is Jack Evans fired from AAA.
Yeah, so a lot of people would say, "Who cares? What's that matter?" But it's very cool. It's very, and obviously, you know what's my show, my topic. So, and I love lucha. I love Jack Evans. If you watch Lucha Underground, Jack Evans is a big player on there, and he's great. He's so talented. But the interesting thing is this: Jack Evans works for AAA, right? And it's been this. Everybody's relationship with AAA is weird.
Yeah.
It's so up and down. They just sometimes their direction just drives me insane. It makes no sense. But they have a lot of good guys. I mean, a lot of the guys in Lucha Underground and everything else. They've got a lot of talent. But Jack Evans teams with on Helico, and they were tag champs. They've been a couple times. They recently just lost the belts. It seemed kind of out of nowhere, but it was to Drago and Aristar, which is very cool.
Drago.
And Jack Evans went overseas, was doing some touring in Europe, and somewhere over there, basically what he said in an interview, I don't know if it was a newspaper, radio, I'm not sure what it was, but basically what he said was, the one thing he said is that AAA has not been as good since Conan left. Conan was booking, doing the storylines, the writing, all that. He said it wasn't as good as and it's not.
Yeah.
They like I said, they don't have a lot of direction. And what was the other thing he said? I don't remember. There was something else, but it wasn't really hugely horrible.
So I don't remember what it was.
I think he said that La Parka is really not that great in the ring.
Who's La Parka? I don't think I've seen him wrestle.
You remember La Parka, the character at least, because he used to be in WCW. He's the skeleton guy.
Oh yeah.
Not
okay.
not the same guy under the mask now in
Yeah.
AAA. But anyway, that's their character. That's their big character. That's their John Cena character now. Their big money guy, they think, right? And he's right. He's not that great in the ring, but whatever it is, what it is, didn't seem that big a deal. But AAA doesn't like it, so they fired him over it. Now he's been fired before, brought back pretty quick, so it might get worked out. Because let's hope. But the interesting side to this, or there's a couple things. Is how is this going to affect the Lucha Underground thing? Because they're not necessarily exclusive each other, right?
Yeah.
But AAA doesn't want the people in Lucha Underground that they have a beef with. So if they, what do they deny other guys not working Lucha Underground because they want to make a stand on this? But what I think to me the most interesting part of all this is how it's going to affect Pentagon Jr. And I say that because Pentagon Jr. is not happy in AAA. He's not been vocal, but it's clear.
Yeah.
Pentagon Jr. is one of the hottest foreign wrestlers in the American independents right now. Has an opportunity to make a lot of money and really blow through the roof right now. He's so hot. AAA, but a lot of guys are hesitant because to book a AAA guy, you have to pay AAA commission. So it's some people don't, you have to pay this commission on top of everything else. So, Pentagon Jr.'s brother Phoenix basically just walked away from AAA, calls himself Ray Phoenix now, and does his own thing, and it's been successful.
Yes, I heard about that.
So you have to wonder if Pentagon's ready to pull the trigger. But obviously he doesn't want to lose the Lucha Underground thing right now. Yeah. So that to me is the most interesting part of this. Is I bet Pentagon's waiting to see what happens to determine his next move. And there might be other guys too.
Well, see, here's my thing is that I think very easily Pentagon Jr. could get signed on WWE. I'm sure he wouldn't want to necessarily, because I know sometimes people say you go to WWE, you pretty much bury yourself.
I'm sure they at least are watching him as big as he is. Now, whether he wants to, because like I said, he's really now just getting hot. He's really getting out there. He's is he WWE ready? I don't know because I don't know. And then there's also the character issue. I don't think he owns the character, so I don't know what will happen with that. But
yeah, I was say that probably owns the AAA. Belongs to AAA.
Yeah, I
doesn't
believe
it?
so. Yeah. So
Okay.
we'll have to see what happens. I mean, he was given that character, so we'll see what happens with that. So okay, let's move on. What's the next headline?
Next headline is Roderick Strong NXT debut.
Yeah, we knew this was coming, right? Everybody, it hadn't been announced, but we knew Roderick had signed.
Yeah.
And when they said that Austin Aries was going to have a mystery partner in the Dusty Rhodes Classic, we pretty much thought it was going to be Roderick Strong. It was still cool as hell to see Roderick come out, do his thing. Roderick Strong, one of the best workers in wrestling the past decade, easily. And to see him in NXT and the things that they can do and he can do with, they can do with him will be amazing because he's great. And the coolest thing was I love hearing them acknowledge that he's got all this connection and history with other guys. And they pointed out AJ Styles and Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens. Almost said Kevin Steen.
Yeah, it's like Kevin Steen.
And so it's so cool to think that, hey, these guys that are big, I mean, Seth Rollins, all these guys, he's got a history with them, right? He was their peer. He is their peer.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know. I would suspect they probably don't have plans beyond NXT with him, kind of like what they do with Austin Aries, but still, that's nothing. That's no slouch. And it will be cool because Roderick Strong's great. He's a great worker. So it was very cool to see him come out and him and Austin Aries teaming again. It was a good moment.
I like that I liked his little thing he did for a while. The whole thing, it was like Roderick Strong versus the world.
Yeah, Roddy versus the world.
Yeah, Roddy versus the world, and he would like wrestle everybody. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was great. That's when he was TV champ for the second time. Good stuff. So that's exciting. I like seeing, NXT bolster the roster with these guys. These guys deserve the money, the stability, the stage. Roddy's married. He just had a kid. It's a good thing for him. So
get some of that moolah.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Plus, I think he already lived in the Florida area, so.
I think I remember there was a match I was trying to think of. I think it was Roderick Strong. It was Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish for the TV title, wasn't it? That one time.
Probably.
I think so because Bobby Fish is one of my other favorite Ring of
Maybe,
Honor
but
wrestlers.
that's not who Fish won it from.
I know. As I know, they fought about it.
He won it from Ishii, remember?
Yeah, because then Ishii defeated Roderick Strong.
I think so, yeah.
And then he got mad because he's
But
like,
I think
I was
Bobby,
gonna beat him.
they did have a feud, and I think Bobby,
Yeah.
but he didn't get the TV title from him.
No.
So,
But it's good stuff.
yeah.
Watch
Be
Ring of
interesting.
Honor.
Yeah, watch Ring of Honor.
That's the bottom line here.
Yeah. All right. And what's our final headline?
Okay, our final headline is, I think for like the second week in a row now, Goldberg. Talking about Goldberg.
Yeah, but how can you not?
Like, that was awesome. Did you see him in the ring about to cry?
It was
That
great.
was as much as I hate seeing people like him in the ring, people who are so face. I don't know, something about that, but it was still heartfelt and touching.
But now in this day and age, it's unique.
Exactly.
It stands out that we have this shaking hands, kissing babies, pretty much literally.
Yeah, who was the
Babyface.
kiss a baby?
I don't know, but he was all out, hugging kids,
picking
and
up kids,
and all
grabbing
that
his
stuff.
son, and
So it was really great. It was a cool thing. Like we said, if nothing else, it's a great moment. And hey, that's what wrestling. Wrestling's full of great moments. So, and it was cool. The crowd reception was great. They chanted. They did their thing. And
what were they chanting? That like for that like the longest time there, it was like "Welcome back."
I don't know.
Like welcome.
Yeah, maybe. And it was pretty incredible. But now the question is, can he go? Dude's like 51 years old, 52 years old. Hasn't wrestled for 12 years or whatever. Obviously still in great shape, though. I mean, he doesn't look like he's let off that much, but can he go? And can he go at the level with Brock Lesnar?
I think, here's my thing. All right, you ready for this? I actually thought about this a little bit.
Did it hurt?
A little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought about this. Like, I think Goldberg's going to, like, shock the hell out of everybody. Honestly, I think it's going to be one of the hugest moments in wrestling history. I think this is going to be one of those moments. This is going to be one of those Andre the Giant moments. Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant moments. Watch. Because I bet you, when they get to that match, it's going to be Goldberg and Brock Lesnar, and it's going to be one of the greatest matches you'll ever see. I'm putting my money on that one. That's how much faith I have in Bill Goldberg.
It might be an okay match, a greatest match.
Hey, you never know.
I guess that is subjective, but I won't go that far. I just hope he can go. and do his thing. And
I bet he gets in the ring, and it'll be like
We'll see.
like he's back in the WCW.
it'll still be a cool moment to see. And the rumor is they want him maybe to stick around a little longer and do a WrestleMania thing. The rumor is with maybe Roman Reigns. So
Yeah, that's what I heard.
we'll see.
I don't like Roman Reigns, though.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll see. All right, so that's it for wrestling headlines, huh? That's our 3.
That's our 3.
Cool,
Uno,
awesome
dos,
deal.
tres.
We're going to take a quick break. When I come back, I will have my Dave Dynasty Show interview with one of the brightest stars in the Midwest. No, let's say one of the brightest stars in America. Up and coming stars. Diamond Cut Ace Perry. Stick around.
Visit LuchaMaskUSA.com for official high-quality Lucha masks and merchandise, straight from the luchadors themselves. They have a huge and always growing inventory, so check back often. That's LuchaMaskUSA.com.
All right, and welcome back to the Dave Dynasty Show, and I am now joined by Diamond Cut Ace Perry. Ace, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I am great. So let's I like to when I talk to guys, I like to go back to when you were, I know you're young now, but when you were a kid, watching wrestling, when did wrestling hook you? When did you start watching wrestling? When did that thing become part of your life?
I know I was about 7 years old, and I was flipping through the channels in 2002, actually, right before they switched over and called themselves the WWE.
Right.
So I caught the last second of the WWF, so to speak. I don't remember what specific match, but I remember I was 7 years old, 2002.
Okay. So in those early years when you were watching them, what kind of guys did you like? What would you consider the first kind of influences you had?
Man, Jeff Hardy was my Hulk Hogan, so to speak.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think I could see that.
Yeah, he was really like the only guy for me when I was younger. But nowadays, I have many influences like Brian Kendrick and Austin Aries and
Right.
Daniel Bryan, Jamie Noble, guys similar to my size.
Okay, so like, let's come up now. Like when you watch now, not if you're not studying tape or doing anything like that. If you're just watching, just as a fan or for enjoyment, what kind of stuff you watch now?
Oh man, I really like guys that I enjoy. as a
Whatever,
fan.
guys, promotions, whatever it is that draws you right now.
Well, I still watch the WWE, obviously, and guys that really draw me in right now. As far as like story and all that, not just based off how good they are, but like Seth Rollins, like whatever he has going on, I'm always super into.
Okay.
Sami Zayn. Who else? Let's see. Randy Orton, just because I've been watching him since I was a kid, so he's kind of like one of those guys too. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
That I've always kind of like been into and looked up to. So I'm always kind of like into like what Orton's doing and stuff like that.
Right. Okay. So when you're watching, when you're young, at what point did you think, yeah, this is what I want to do? I want to get into this. I want to pursue this.
Well, I always knew I wanted to do something with it, but I actually made the decision when I was 14 years old. I remember I was in 8th grade, so right before I hit high school, I was like, you know what, this is what I want to pursue, this is what I want to do, and I started looking more into it.
Okay. Did you, at that age, did you do things to help pursue that? I mean, sports at school, working out, anything like that with that in mind?
I know I started working out when I was 12, but I started hitting the weights hard and dieting when I was 14.
Okay.
Because when I was 14, I was like, well, all these dudes are, 6 foot, 225 pounds. If I'm going to be a professional wrestler, I need to put on some weight.
Right.
So at 14 years old, I started really hitting the weights and dieting.
Okay. So you made that decision. You said you were looking into it. Where did you get trained? What age were you, and how did that all come about?
It was probably about a week after my 18th birthday. I went to WCWO, the closest place in Indianapolis.
Right.
And I got trained by Drew Skills and Apollo Star, the Soul Shooters.
Yep.
And then I've been mentored along the way by several others.
Yeah.
So that was the place.
Yeah, that's a good couple guys to get trained by. Those guys know their stuff. So, and you talk about mentors. Would Billy Rock fall into that? Because I know you do a lot of stuff for Billy up there at the School of Rock and his show and all that. How has Billy? Because because I talked to Tripp last week, and when we were kind of reflecting back and the fact that Billy's, about at the end of his road here in his journey with the school, has he played a part in your career and helped you out at all?
Oh yeah, definitely. I've done quite a few training sessions with him, and he's given me pointers and tips on certain things, and he's taught me quite a few things. So he's definitely played a mentor role in my career.
Yeah. So, as have a couple guys that Billy trained. We're talking about Tripp Cassidy, Dale Patricks, those guys. You three, Josh Crane. Tell us about how you four kind of came together and got the Young Dragons, and Tripp talked about how you're striving to kind of help boost and promote Indiana wrestling and get it out there in nationwide and make a name for yourselves for Indiana. How did that all come about with you four?
Well, it was probably within my first year of wrestling. I was just at WCWO, maybe a couple other local promotions, such as like New Era and Hoosier Pro Wrestling out in Columbus. Tripp was at WCWO one night, and they had paired us together, and so we were gonna have a one-on-one match. Mm-hmm. And I remember I didn't know much, of course, and I'm not saying I know much now, but definitely more so than what I did my first year in.
Right.
But Tripp, he gave me all these moves, and I was like, what's going on? What is all this? So I just listened to him, and I did exactly what he told me to. And then after the match, he was like, "Hey, you're pretty decent. Do you want to like hop in my car and like ride around with me and my guys?" Which was Dale Patricks and Josh Crane at the time.
Right.
And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So, and that's kind of like how it started. And he introduced me to Dale and Josh, and now they're all like my best friends. And we are called the Young Dragons, based off the Naptown Dragons. Drake Younger, OMG, Scotty Vortex, and Die Hard Dustin Lee.
Right.
They were the guys traveling around trying to give Indiana a good name for itself as far as wrestling goes. Like, so wherever they would go, they were obviously good. So people would think, "Oh, well, these guys are from Indiana, so they must be good." And I'm not trying to toot our own horn or anything like that, but we're trying to follow in the footsteps of the Naptown Dragons.
Right.
And give Indiana wrestling, like, we're trying to keep up that good name that has, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Going the places that we're going.
Yeah. Tripp and I talked about that, and I told him that how important that is, because I wrestled for when I wrestled, that was a whole different era, and it was hard to get in because the guys that had been there, they didn't want the new guys coming in, they didn't want to give up their spots on shows and whatever else, and there wasn't a whole lot of guidance. So Tripp talked about how he mentors a lot of guys. Now that you've got several years in and all this experience, do you find yourself, when you work young guys like a Jonathan Wolf or a Cole Radrick or a Sean Kemp or someone that's young like that, and where you have to kind of maybe take the lead on that, do you find are you comfortable in that mentoring, that leadership kind of role there with those guys?
I wouldn't say I'm uncomfortable, but it's definitely weird, and I don't feel like it's my place to be doing that. But I know when I'm put in a position like that, I'm kind of forced to take the lead, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem doing it at all.
Yeah. Do those guys, did they come to you sometimes? I mean, knowing that you've got a few years under your belt, do they seek you out ever? And I mean, do you get approached? Because Tripp says he gets videos and messages from all kinds of guys like that. I mean, do you get that too, or?
I do, but not as much as him.
Okay, right. So you've worked, I wouldn't even know how many places and how many countries. You're out there a lot. But one of the things that's caught my eye in your career is actually fairly recently, and I don't know if you how much you want to talk about it, but it was the Jimmy Jacobs thing you did in IWA Mid-South, and I think that caught a lot of attention. How did that development? Tell me what that was like, because Jacobs, that had to have been amazing working with someone that that has to become an influence on you. How did that all come about, and what was that like?
Well, it was. I'm not real sure how it came about. I just knew that Jimmy Jacobs was making his IWA Mid-South return or whatever, and Ian Rotten was like, "Hey kid, we're gonna put you with Jimmy." So I was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
So well, here's what I was.
did it start out? It was just going to be a match, or was it from the beginning intended to be this series, this respect thing, and did it just grow to that?
Yeah, it kind of just like grew into that. Like it was just going to be kind of like a one match type deal because he wasn't sure how often Jimmy was going to be able to be around.
Right.
And once he could Jimmy became more accessible, so to speak. It kind of just grew into this whole 6-month storyline about respect and whatnot, and it was really insane.
Right. Yeah.
So, obviously, I'm super grateful for that opportunity and all that. He's the smartest guy I've ever worked with. He's the smartest guy that I've gotten to know, thankfully, within the business, and I learned so much from him, from storytelling to psychology and match structure and stuff like that, selling and emotion and just all that stuff.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason he's moved on to a bigger role in the business. I mean, what he has. So, while I say you got quite a bit of attention for that, I don't think that was even quite the attention you got from what was it, a couple years back with the prom date with one of your fans. And we won't retell the whole story because there's, like I said, there is plenty out there for people to look up. What I would like to know is what was the attention like? Because literally, I mean, it was like all kinds of major media outlets were picking this story up, and what was that like for something that I know you, A's, and I know that you didn't go into it for that. So something just this humble gesture to get that. I mean, what was that like to experience kind of that whirlwind at the time?
Like you said, I had no idea that it was going to go viral. There was no intention of getting any publicity for it or anything like that.
Right.
I was just kind of like, I was at the gym. I remember I was at the gym one evening and my phone just started going off, and just out of nowhere, like a few days after the video was posted. To be honest, I know there's a camera right in front of me. You can see the video, but I was so caught up in the moment, I didn't realize like it was being filmed. And
well, that's probably just second nature, right? Because all these shows there's cameras. I mean, you don't even notice that probably anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Like last night, I wrestled at White River Wrestling, and I came to the curtain, and midway through my entrance, I was like, "Oh, there's a camera right in front of me."
Right. Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, I remember I was at the gym, and my phone just started going off, and I was getting all these Facebook messages and notifications, and Instagram followers, and Twitter followers, and people tweeting at me, and it was insane. And within like the first day, the video had gotten like over 100,000 views or whatever, and I had people calling me from Canada to do radio station interviews, and people in California, like New California, were messaging me asking me my permission to use the video on their show. And I had people from Europe and the UK and Australia and Asia messaging me, telling me like, hey, like it's real cool what you're doing. And it was real overwhelming, and it was insane to think that it had spread all across the world.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy.
Yeah. Well, very
overwhelming.
And like I said, the thing I took from it that I thought was the best was obviously what you did for her, but it was also, it was a great thing for wrestling, because wrestling, let's be honest, it gets knocked a lot, because a lot of times what's only out in the press is the negatives, the bads. And it was cool to see something positive come, from this kid from Indiana and what he had done, and so it was very cool. So, but that had to have been, because like I said, I remember it was everywhere. And for anybody listening that doesn't know this story, literally all you have to do is just Google Ace Perry, and that's 90% of the stories that come up at the top is about this. So it's still very, very out there. So, it's like I said. I knowing how you're a humble guy. I mean, that's one of the things I've always noticed about you, and you're actually you're kind of a quiet guy. But I noticed this recent promo you put up, the Johnny Boy promo that you just recently put up here in the last few weeks. There was a little fire there in that promo that I haven't seen a lot of from you on that side. How was that something you wanted to do, something you were provoked into doing or asked to do, or? It was a very cool promo, because there had to have been a lot of truth in it, right? I mean, you have to hear that a lot. Hey, Ace, you don't really have a character. You don't really have a gimmick. What is it? What's your thing? And you're Oh, I hope that's not for you.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, hold on, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Well, I'm just sitting outside and
Something's going on.
Fire truck just blew by. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Okay, definitely not for me. I can tell you that.
Yeah, well.
Okay, so the promo.
Right, yeah, I mean, because to me, some of the greatest works and some of the greatest promos, they have that kernel of truth. You know, even that little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you hear a lot, where guys approaching you and asking you that, you know, hey, you're a great worker, but if, you know, you need a gimmick or you need a character, I mean, do you hear that?
Yeah, all the time. You know, I've never, like you said, I'm real quiet, and I prefer to let, you know, the old cliche saying, my actions speak louder than my words.
Right.
I like to just get in there and just wrestle. That's all I want to do. And
Yep.
I understand this is professional wrestling and, you know, characters and gimmicks and all that stuff. And there was a little bit of truth behind that promo. And I've also been trying to work on my promos and, you know, kind of be a little bit more vocal about things because I know I need to be. But yeah, I'm always getting approached, you know, like, what's your character? What's your gimmick? Or you don't. Like, this is professional wrestling. I understand that. But at the same time, this is professional wrestling, and to me, it's the sport.
Right.
And, like, I feel like there shouldn't. I don't even know if I should really be saying this because I feel like it's not my place. But I feel like there shouldn't be as, like, there's a real big focus on characters and gimmicks and all this stuff, and I just feel like some people just overdo it. You know what I mean? Like,
right. But
you have to have a character, you have to have a gimmick to get over. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's not that important.
Yeah, and what I think with this approach, I mean, to me, is it's kind of an aspect of this new era that is kind of coming into the business. I mean, there are places for guys that can just work and can just do it in the ring, and sometimes that's enough. I mean, so, you know, so maybe you're just reflecting kind of, I think there's this shift in the business, and I think that's kind of a reflection of it, and I think that's good. But you know, you can have the over-the-top characters, but I think it's okay to have a guy that, you know, that just, there's got to be the workhorses. There always were. There were always the Arn Andersons and the guys like that they weren't really characters, but man, in the ring, they were the ones that put the character, you know, made the characters look like $1 million. So,
yeah, and I'm not saying like I'm against characters or gimmicks or anything like that. Like,
right.
I like all sorts of wrestling and all that, but it's not really my thing.
Right, but again,
you know what I mean? I support it, but it's not for me.
And again, like I said, I think the best things in wrestling, there's always this kernel of truth and reality. I mean, okay, well, let's look at one of your cohorts, Dale Patricks. If you want to talk about a character, I mean, Dale's a character, right? But that's Dale. That's not much of an act for Dale, is. I mean, that's him. So, and that's you know
how he is.
Yeah, so it's, you know, there's different approaches, and I think as long as, you know, like I said, there's a little bit of reality in there, that's the best stuff. So, well, like I said,
whatever works for somebody.
Right, yeah. And so you've been wrestling since when did you say you started wrestling? How long was it? What year did you start?
It was early 2012.
Okay, so I mean you're still very, very young in this business. I mean, you're only and you've accomplished. I mean, 4 years. What you've accomplished to me is incredible. And I mean, like I said, I've been watching you for a long time because I'm from this area, and how much you've grown is incredible. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you're definitely one of the good guys, Ace. I'll give you praise for that more than anything else. You're one of the shining examples in the business of you know, how to be a person. When you look back on these 4 years, well, yeah, you're welcome. You look back on these 4 years, what stands out to you as kind of some of the highlights so far to your time in wrestling?
Well, to be honest with you, I feel like I haven't done much. As far as my highlights go, I feel like really the only thing I have done within the 4 years that I've been, obviously, like, I travel a lot, you know, do all of that, but it's really probably just the Jimmy Jacobs thing and my time spent in IWA. I feel like that's really the only thing I've accomplished in my 4 years.
Yeah.
But And obviously I have multiple goals set for myself, but I'm far from any of those.
Right. So when touching back on that Jacobs thing, when that happened, did that kind of boost your drive a little bit to say, hey, you know what, I can do this at a little bit higher level, and to want to work to you're not that's saying that you didn't have the drive before, but did that help boost you a little bit, your confidence to say, hey, if I'm working with a guy like this, if I keep at it, I can get there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like at the time, I didn't feel like I was prepared at all, but I was forced into a position to be prepared and to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That definitely helped me being forced into that position. And when I was done with it, when I was through with it, it definitely gave me that confidence boost. Like, okay, maybe I can hang with some of the best. Maybe I can go with some of the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
So, and in that aspect, it kind of made me realize some things.
Yeah.
And it did give me a little bit more motivation.
Right. Well, and one of the things I've asked everybody I've had on so far, there's this cliche thing now, with the lists of guys and goals, and you spoke about having goals. What are some of your goals for just to say 2017, as we're sitting here getting ready to start a new year? What are some of the goals that you'd like to accomplish next year?
I want to leave the country. I want to be in some of the places that my peers are right now.
Okay.
I do have my own list of guys that I want to wrestle.
Right.
That I prefer not to put out there, but to give you a few names. Gresham, Joey Janela. Who else? I don't. Those are a couple of guys that are definitely at the top of my so-called list.
Yeah. You and Joey. That's honestly a match I tried to have happen when I was at Emerge. I tried to get Joey out. We just could never get a date for him to get here. But that's the match I was going to have. It was you and him. I wanted. It's because I saw you both out in New Jersey work at a benefit show, and then I thought, man, these two guys need to be in the ring together. So very cool.
Man, that would have been great.
It would. Yeah, like I said, we were ready. I was going to pull the trigger on it. I couldn't get Joey. I couldn't get a date for him, so it never worked. But
yeah.
sorry, you'll have to check it off your list somewhere else. So sorry.
So definitely. No.
Well, thanks for being on, Ace. Where can people find you out on the internet if they're looking for you on social media? Where's the best way for them to follow you and see what you're up to?
I'm on Instagram and Twitter at Ace Perry Indy, INDY.
Okay.
And on Facebook, just Ace Perry.
All right. Well, cool deal. And everybody get out, follow Ace on the social media outlets. Get out there and support him at his shows. If you catch him at the right time, he does have T-shirts. I know they go quick, so you just gotta keep watch on them. You don't keep them in stock very long, do you, Ace?
No, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm working on it, though.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, well, hey, thanks for being on, Ace. I appreciate it, and good luck and everything, and maybe we'll cross paths down the road again and get an update on where you're at in your career.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me.
All right,
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Ace. See you later.
Check out Geek Stew for all your geek and wrestling news and podcasts. Visit geek-stew.com. Gather round for life lessons from professional wrestling's own Mance Warner. It's Warner Wisdom.
All right, people, we are live. It is me, Mance Warner. Another installment of Warner's Wisdom. I think this is part 4, I believe. I could be wrong. It is I, the king of big dog style, the OG of Bucksnort, Tennessee, Mr. No Knee Pads Needed, the king of lariats and light beer. And I'm sitting here right now on the Dave Dynasty show. This show is pretty good, but a whole lot better when I'm on it, which is every week. So it's a pretty damn good podcast, baby. Now, right here, I'm sitting here enjoying a light beer because a bag of light beers was given to me, man. That's how cool I am. I go to shows and people give me a bag of light beers to partake in and enjoy, and I am doing that. Thank you. On this week, I'm going to talk about something a little different here. The last wrestling extravaganza I was at, after me and my tag team partner Luke Lawson, we are Guns and Aggression, we won. A little kid came up to me, and he looked at me and he said, Mance Warner, why are you a bad guy? And he called me an asshole. So, I took a second, and I thought about this on the long ride home. Now, I was thinking about it. Now, before I was driving home, I pushed this little punk down on his butt, pie-faced him, started crying like a little baby. I left the town. I got in my truck. I drove home, and I thought about this, man. I was thinking about it. Now, at the end of the day, I ain't a bad guy. Nothing I'm doing is a bad thing to do, man. I'm doing what I got to do. I'm sitting here letting y'all know I ain't a bad guy in my eyes. But what I ain't is a little crybaby baby who comes out there going, oh, cheer for me. I'm a good guy. Cheer for me. I need you. I need you to root for me. I don't need you people, man. That's the difference. I go out there to fight, pay me a light bill, and keep on doing what I do, man, because I'm good at what I do. Now, this whole industry, this business, man, at the end of the day, is built on the backs of men, not babies. Men. Look at him, man. Tully Blanchard. Did he come out clapping his hands saying, I need you, I need you? No, he went out there and did what he had to do, and he paid his bills. Arn Anderson. Double A, he ever walk out going, I need you, I need you? No. They're men. So at the end of the day, man, that little punk kid and all you people and everybody in this industry needs to know. Just because we go out there beating the shit out of people, in my case, beating the shit out of a lot of people, trying to start fights in the crowd, it's like me walking into a bar, man. I'm going to get in a fight. I go walking in the front doors just like walking to the wrestling ring. That's where I do my work. I go in a bar, that's where I do my work. So I'm ready for a fight. That means in the crowd, in the ring, referee, ring announcer, little punk kids. That's just the way it goes. So, anyone coming into this industry needs to know you can either be a boy or a man. And that's all you people need to know. Until next time, this is your favorite wrestler, my favorite wrestler, the whole industry's favorite wrestler, Tully's favorite wrestler. Man, he called me yesterday, said I was the man. Now, you can kick it back to old Dave Dynasty and that punk sidekick host, whatever you want to call him. I don't know what he brings to the show. Back to y'all.
And welcome back to the Ike Isaacs Show, where I'm the best there is, and Dave's a no-show. Yeah. How'd you like that?
I could literally physically feel our listenership drop.
Yeah, is that right? Just you can hear them just like putting down their phones and saying, I'm done.
Yeah, don't do that again.
I'll think about it.
Let's just ask me questions.
Okay, it is actually time for the Q&A. First question. When you were a child, did you go to school with Jesus? Oh, wait, I already asked you that question, didn't I? See,
I'm not even going to.
See, like, if you were here right now, you'd see the glare in his eyes. It's like the evil hatred.
Next question.
Next question. Okay. What's your current dream match?
Current dream match?
Dream match. Whoever.
Okay.
Anyone. You ready?
I have a match that I want to see.
Okay.
And this is a dream match for me. And I think it would be the coolest storyline in a while. And it's in Ring of Honor. No surprise, because I love Ring of Honor. I want to see them turn Christopher Daniels face. And I want to see them have him chase Adam Cole for the Ring of Honor World title. And I thought all this came from when he cut that promo about how he sees the end of his career and he's worrying about his legacy, etc., etc. It could be that same thing.
Hands down, one of the best promos of all time. If you've never seen it.
Yes, where he said, and where he can say, that he's never, wherever he's been the man. He's been successful. He's held titles, but he's never been the guy. Not Roman Reigns, but the top champ.
I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. I am the guy.
Yeah. Anyway, so then he can play off that, and he says, you know what, my end. I know my end's not. Who knows when it's coming? I gotta have it. They could run it. They could chase. There's no doubt that those two, that match would be phenomenal, amazing, because they're both great. I would even go so far, if I was booking it, to have Daniels win the title.
Yeah, I would
Let's
do that.
give the man what he's due. Let's make him a champ. I don't care how long he holds it. Because then the feud can continue, because all you got to do is flip it. Adam Cole could say, you know what? I want the title back, obviously. But I want to do it because I'm going to make history and be the first 3-time Ring of Honor champion. There's been 3 men to hold it twice. Him, Jay Briscoe, and Austin Aries.
That was colorful right there.
It was. As I was counting, I did the number 1 was a nice bird, Isaac.
Yeah, nice bird.
So anyway, so then they can have Cole wants to chase it, wants to get it back. So the feud just continues. And it would be great. It would be just wonderful, wonderful. If he's still doing the Bullet Club thing, I mean, it's not like Daniels wouldn't have guys that could be on his side. They could keep him with Frankie, turn him face. There's, who else?
I think you could throw like the Motor City Machine Guns with them.
Yeah, I mean, the Kamatachi with them now, all these guys. Anyway, be phenomenal. I want to see those two have a program in some big matches. That would be my, not necessarily, I don't know if it's a dream match, but that's my dream scenario right now. I want to see it. I want to see Christopher Daniels get a moment. I want to see him. I want to see him he should have been TNA World Champion. He was the best thing they had. And him and AJ should have been feuding on that title. He should have held it. I want to see him be Ring of Honor champion.
Did he hold the X Division title?
He held X and tag and all that, but he's never been the man. I mean, it is literally a crime of the business that Christopher Daniels has not had a WWE run. He's that good.
I agree.
But, he's got a good gig now in Ring of Honor. He's there. He's kind of an agent. But give the man, give it to him. He deserves it. What's next?
100% agree. Favorite match of all time?
Oh, I don't know.
I have one for this one after you.
I have a huge. Was it going to be Goldberg or Lesnar?
No.
I have a list of matches I like for different reasons. My most memorable matches ever is actually the trilogy, the series of Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat matches from the late 80s, early 90s when Steamboat came back to the NWA. Only because I was, as a kid, I was watching it. It was just, they had 3 of the greatest matches ever, and the whole thing was just great. The whole storytelling, the whole build, it was all amazing. So I'm going to go with that whole series. Is just my most memorable, but I have lots of matches and things and spots that I like. I mean, Savage Steamboat from WrestleMania 3 was phenomenal. So
I do know.
Yeah, so there was a lot of good stuff. So yeah, what's your favorite match then? Let's hear this one.
One sec. Sorry. Okay, my mic cut out just for a second, but we're good.
I think that's probably because it knows what's going to come.
No, actually, I think you'll like this match. So right. I believe it was WrestleMania 20. I believe.
Okay.
And I believe it was Chris Benoit, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels for the heavyweight title.
Maybe. Is that the night that Benoit and Eddie both won the titles?
Yeah, Benoit and Eddie both won the titles under the ring. That's probably one of my favorite matches.
Oh, but Eddie's had so many good matches. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God. Eddie Guerrero, fantastic.
He's great. So,
but I just thought that was such a good match because, him and Chris had a history in WCW and stuff. And Dean Malenko, throw him in there.
All right. What else?
All right. Last question. If you could bring back one wrestling territory or promotion, what would it be? What would it be?
Wow, that's an interesting question.
Now, something that makes you think.
Honestly, I would have to say I don't know. If I could bring it back. Oh, man, that's wild. I think it would have to be... Honestly, I think it would be the WCW World Championship Wrestling, but not the end of the later stuff.
Yeah.
I'm talking pre-Ted Turner, back when it was just... a territory of the NWA, the Crockett Promotions, in the Carolinas and all that, when they were just hot. That, to me, was the best. It was amazing, the talent. It was just great. Everything was there. So the pre-Ted Turner World Championship Wrestling area.
Wasn't Ted Turner? He's a millionaire, isn't he?
Yeah, he's something. He owns all kinds of crap.
Oh, doesn't he own Turner like Broadcasting or something like that? It's like one of the biggest things of all time.
Yeah,
something like that.
That's TBS.
Is that what that is? I honestly did not know that. I feel a little dumb.
TBS began as just a station in Atlanta.
Oh,
then went nationwide, and I don't know what he still owns, but one point he started CNN, and he. I think he may have owned the Atlanta Hawks. I don't know. He's owned so much. Was married to Jane Fonda. I don't know if he's still married to her.
I don't like Jane Fonda, but
I'm not even 100%. Is Ted Turner still alive? I guess he is. I don't know.
He must be. He's still relevant somehow. I mean, he's
Maybe.
alive, but
I don't know. Yeah, he's rich. I don't know what he owns anymore, but he's owned a lot.
all I know is he's got money.
Sure does. So is that the end of the Q&A?
I do so believe.
Yeah. Well, so that wraps up another episode, right?
Yeah, it does actually.
Pretty good episode.
I thought those questions were actually pretty good.
Some good headlines, some good questions. An Ace Perry interview.
That was a good interview.
Those glorious, wonderful nuggets of wisdom from Mance Warner. Oh, my.
Mance Warner and his light beer. He's something, man.
Just always remember that whatever Mance says, I don't necessarily agree with, but
take it with the grain.
Do what you will. He's great. World needs some Mance Warners. He's old school.
Yeah, he's something, all right.
He would fit right into that resurrected World Championship Wrestling era of mine.
I think he would, actually.
I could, yeah.
I would like to see him, as much as I dislike him, just in general, because, he drinks light beer. But I think he would be good, in hardcore wrestling, like ECW and stuff. Like the original ECW, like Sandman.
I think he's actually getting ready to do something because he wrestles for IWA Mid-South.
Okay.
And I think he's doing some kind of match with something to do with staplers involved. I don't
Oh.
I don't know. I think something. I think Mance is about to get stapled.
I'd be okay with seeing that. Mance Warner getting stapled.
Mance is a throwback. Good guy.
I will give him that he does have that old school classic kind of feel.
Light beers, lariats, and fanny packs. Make the world go round.
Fanny packs.
Yeah, that's an old school wrestling thing. Everybody had a fanny pack. You kept all your important stuff in there back in the day,
Brass knuckles.
Your money, your identification, your steroids.
Yeah, your steroids.
All your other goodies. as Mance calls them.
His goodies.
So
punch him in the mouth. you find the biggest one there and you punch him in the mouth.
That was last week. Yeah.
I know, but still, that's probably my favorite Warner's wisdoms right there, man. Right there.
Oh, he's wise in his own way. Street smarts.
He might not have the intelligence, but he's got that common sense, I guess.
Ouch. Yet you didn't know that TBS was Turner Broadcasting.
Look, I wasn't born in the 30s.
Neither was
you.
TBS.
Well, Ted Turner, and you were probably friends in middle school or something, so.
Yeah, I was friends with Ted Turner in middle school, and I wouldn't be trying to get some of that financial rub off of him now.
How are you going to get financial rub off Ted Turner if you were, friends?
I'd be like, yo, Ted, you knew me in middle school. Slip me alone.
He'd probably be like, how about you go away?
He wouldn't care.
Now, he'd probably be like, I'll pee on you. How about that?
I'd have to have some good dirt stories on him from middle school. I'd just blackmail him.
Right. Remember that time you smoked a cigarette in the boys' room? Smoking in the boys' room.
You have a weird definition of dirt.
I know. I don't know, man. I thought of that song for some reason. I don't even know why. It just literally popped in my head.
And on that note, let's close the show because I don't know if I can handle an episode where we hear Ike Isaacs sing more than twice.
Yeah.
We've already heard him sing twice. Remember to go out and rate, review us, subscribe, follow, share, help us out. Visit our sponsor, LuchaMaskUSA.com.
Help us out. We need it.
And check us out on social media and all of our different spots. If you need to find it, just go to DaveDynasty.com. There's links to everything there. Links to all the episodes and all the formats. Everything you should want. You can even book me for your event if you want me to come do something.
What are you going to do?
I'll do whatever. I'll manage. I'll ring announce. I don't care. We could do a live podcast at an event if they want to do that.
You throw him a 40, dude. He'll do anything.
Pretty much.
Gas money and $20.
Pretty much. Maybe one of these promotions out here would like to see. We'd like to do a live podcast recording there.
Hey, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, well.
I like talking shit
Whatever.
about anybody
Just
and
go
anyone.
to DaveDynasty.com. You can contact us. Mr. Isaacs, where can they find you on the social media world?
You can find me on Twitter at PintSizeBeast. And that's pretty much it. I'm not going to give you my Facebook. I don't like weird people on my Facebook.
Besides himself.
Well, I mean, if you're going to play that game.
So just go to Twitter, Pint-Sized Beast, at Pint-Sized Beast.
At PintSizeBeast.
Just spam the hell out of him.
Go for it. Do whatever you want to do.
Put every cat video known to man on his feed.
Hey, I might be gruff and mean on the inside, but I do like a cat video.
Gruff and me. Oh. That's it for the Dave Dynasty show this week. I can take no more.
Have you seen the piano cat video?
We'll see you next week.